Imagine a train so long it takes 12 minutes just to pass you. A machine stretching over 4.5 miles. Nearly 700 wagons. 8 locomotives spread across its length because one couldn't handle the force. That train exists. It ran in Australia. And it's not even the only monster on this list. Today, we're counting down the 10 longest trains ever recorded. These aren't normal freight trains. These are steel serpents that shake the ground, carry entire cities' worth of cargo, and push the limits of what rails can handle. Some of them you've never heard of. One of them runs through the Sahara Desert with passengers riding on top of the ore. Let's get into it. Number 10. China's Daqin Railway. Coal trains. China burns more coal than any other nation on Earth. And getting that coal from the mines to the coast requires one of the most intense freight operations ever built. So what happens when you need to move 450 million tons of coal every single year? You build trains like these. On the Datong-Qinhuangdao Railway, dozens of pairs of trains run every single day. Some stretch up to 2.6 kilometers in length, haul over 20,000 tons of coal, and are powered by twin HXD-1 electric locomotives. The entire 653-kilometer line exists for one purpose: feeding China's power grid. It takes over 6 hours just to load one of these trains. But once loaded, they move with mechanical precision, day after day, like clockwork. But China isn't alone in moving massive cargo by rail. Number 9. Rio Tinto AutoHaul, Australia. In Western Australia's Pilbara region, iron ore trains don't have drivers, they have algorithms. What does the world's largest robot look like? It looks like this. Rio Tinto's AutoHaul system operates a fleet of 50 fully autonomous trains. Each one can stretch 2.4 to 2.5 kilometers, carry up to 28,000 tons of ore, and travel 800 kilometers round trip without a single human on board. The trains are monitored from Perth, over 1,500 kilometers away. No crew changes, no driver fatigue, just iron ore moving from mine to port, 24 hours a day. But automated trains are a recent development. The trains coming next were built when brute force was the only option. Number 8. India's Super Vasuki. India faced a severe power crisis in 2022. Coal shortages were shutting down power plants. The railways needed a solution, fast. So what do you do when the grid is failing and coal can't move fast enough? You build Super Vasuki. Named after the Serpent King in Hindu mythology, this 3.5-kilometer freight train carried 27,000 tons of coal in a single run, 6 locomotives, 295 wagons. It took 4 minutes just to cross a single station. The amount of coal on that train could power a major power plant for an entire day, several times the capacity of a standard Indian freight rake. Super Vasuki proved that Indian railways could move mountains when it mattered. Number 7. Mauritania's iron ore train. Most trains on this list move cargo through controlled environments. This one crosses the Sahara Desert with people sitting on top of the ore. What's it like to ride one of the longest trains on Earth through one of the harshest places on the planet? The Mauritania Railway stretches 700 kilometers from the iron mines at Zouarat to the port at Nouadhibou. Each train is up to 3 kilometers long, carrying 200 wagons filled with iron ore. But here's what makes it legendary. Locals routinely ride the train for free. Well, not really free, but it is tolerated and definitely informal. They climb on top of the ore cars, cover themselves in blankets, and hold on for up to 20 hours as temperatures swing from scorching days to freezing nights. Dust everywhere. No bathrooms, no shelter. Just endless sand and the rhythmic clatter of steel on rail. Adventure travelers call it one of the last great train journeys. Railway engineers call it a marvel of heavy-haul logistics. Quick pause. If you're enjoying this deep dive into record-breaking trains, hit subscribe. We cover forgotten machines, engineering marvels, and railway history that most channels skip. More trains are coming, including the longest one ever recorded. Number 6. Brazil's Carajas Railway. Brazil's Carajas mine is one of the largest open-pit iron ore operations in the world. Getting that ore to port requires serious infrastructure. The Carajas Railway runs 330 car trains that stretch 3 kilometers long. These aren't one-off tests. They run daily, hauling well over 100 million tons of ore every year across 892 kilometers of track. And they share the line with passengers. Over 350,000 people ride this railway each year alongside the iron ore. Industrial scale, daily operation. That's what makes Carajas remarkable. Number 5. Soviet Ekibastuz coal run. In 1986, while the world watched Chernobyl, Soviet railways quietly set a record that would stand for years. The Ekibastuz run moved 439 wagons of coal from the Ekibastuz coal basin toward the Ural industrial region. Total length, 6.5 kilometers. Total weight, 43,400 tons. Multiple diesel locomotives were distributed throughout the train to manage the immense forces involved. This wasn't about speed, it was about raw industrial power. To be more specific, this was a record-setting test train, not one built for regular operation. Cold War-era engineering at its most ambitious. Number 4. Norfolk and Western Super Train, USA. November 15, 1967. West Virginia. The Norfolk and Western Railway was about to prove what American railroads could do. What happens when you push diesel locomotives to their absolute limit? You get the Super Train, 500 coal cars, 6 EMD-SD 45 diesel locomotives, a total length between 5.6 and 6.4 kilometers and a weight of up to 48,170 tons. The train ran 159 miles from Eager, West Virginia to Portsmouth, Ohio in just over 6 hours. At the time, it was the longest and heaviest freight train ever operated. A statement of American industrial power during the height of coal country's golden age. But the record wouldn't last. Number 3. U.S. intermodal giants. Today's longest regular trains don't carry coal or ore, they carry containers. Millions of them, moving goods from ports to cities across America. Union Pacific and BNSF have begun operating intermodal trains that can exceed 6 kilometers in length. 5 locomotives. 280 well cars. Over 500 containers stacked too high. These trains snake through the deserts of Arizona and New Mexico daily, and they're getting longer every year. Union Pacific's average train length has increased 30% since 2018. Distributed power, advanced braking systems, and precision scheduling make these modern giants possible. Number 2. South Africa's Monster Train. August 26, 1989. South Africa. Railway engineers had spent 7 years planning this moment. But on the morning of the record attempt, disaster struck. A fully loaded ore truck jumped the rails. Teams worked frantically to repair the damaged track. Hours later, the monster finally moved. 660 wagons, 9 electric locomotives, 7 diesel engines, 7.3 kilometers of steel stretching across the South African landscape. The train took 12 minutes to pass a single point. It traveled 861 kilometers from Sishin to Saldanha Bay, carrying enough iron ore to fill an entire cargo ship in one trip. For 12 years, this was the longest train ever recorded. But records are made to be broken. Number 1. BHP Iron Ore. Record Train, Australia. June 21, 2001. Western Australia. BHP Iron Ore assembled something the world had never seen. 682 wagons, 8 General Electric AC 6000 CW locomotives, a single driver overseeing the entire train through computer-coordinated distributed power technology. Total length, 7.353 kilometers. Total weight, 99,734 tons. The heaviest and longest train ever recorded. It had 5,648 wheels. It carried 82,000 metric tons of iron ore. That's roughly the weight of 402 Statues of Liberty. The locomotives were spread at intervals of nearly a kilometer throughout the train to manage coupling forces and curve performance. A single computer system coordinated all 8 engines in perfect synchronization. 275 kilometers from Newman to Port Hedland. 1 train, 1 driver, one record that still stands today. These trains aren't just machines. They're proof of what happens when engineering meets ambition, from the coal trains of China to the autonomous robots of the Pilbara, from the Sahara Desert to the mountains of West Virginia. But here's the question. As distributed power technology improves and autonomous systems get smarter, how much longer can trains get? Will we see a 10-kilometer train in our lifetime? If you want to see more stories about machines that shaped history, hit subscribe. We've got deep dives into forgotten locomotives, record-breaking engineering, and the railways that built the modern world. Thanks for watching.